For the perspective drawing for ages 4 to 6, we will keep it extremely simple. We know that even simple skills like using a ruler may take some time for these students, and things like lining up one dot to another and drawing a line could take a lot of time. So we're going to take the idea of the Japanese pagoda drawing, but really simplify and minimize it so it's more just like a really basic Japanese building, and then we'll set it into a landscape. Still, the idea of using a vanishing point and using perspective, we will be able to show the students how to do this and show them how to add details using our vanishing point. Whenever we start a perspective drawing, we will start with a horizon line. So my horizon line will be slightly lower than the center of the page. So I'm going to go and pull across there and do my horizon line. And on my horizon line, I will do a vanishing point. Since it's 1 point perspective, there's only 1 point. So I'm going to put my point right over here, and it lands exactly on the line. When we do perspective, the things that face us are flat, and the things that go away from us always go towards that vanishing point. The front of the building is going to be facing us, so that will simply be a square. You can have your students use the rulers if they can to create a 3-inch by 3-inch square or a 4-inch by 4-inch square. Anywhere within that size would be a good size to work with. Once they have that square that does slightly overlap this horizon line, then we can begin to do 1 point, or pulling the lines towards this 1 point on the horizon line. So you can take the ruler, line up one side with the top of our wall, and line up the other side with the vanishing point, and then help those students do a line that connects those 2 points together. And as we know, even this will take time. If you have a parent or two in class, they can walk around and help students do that, and then you can also walk around. But it will certainly take a few minutes to even do a single line, and that's okay. The next one we'll do is from this bottom corner and line up the ruler again to our vanishing point. All the lines that go back into space will land at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that line. So now we have the front of our building and we have a side, but this side kind of goes on forever, goes way back. We want the side to end. So we're going to take our ruler and draw a line from the top of this angled line down to this angled line. We do have extra lines that will eventually erase over here because this is the side of the wall that we need to keep, and the rest of it will eventually go away. So now we have our basic cube, but this cube wants to become a building, a Japanese building. So we need to add a roof. If I go to the center of my front wall and I place my finger there, but I pull it slightly to the side, this is going to be where the center of my roof is. So I can go up with my finger, place it there, and that's where I'm going to put a dot with my pencil. So again, I'll show you, go from the middle over a little bit and then up, and help the students place a dot right there. That's going to be where the top of the roof converges. Now we want to remember to use the oils vocabulary. So we have a lot of straight lines, but the buildings also use some curved lines, especially on the roof. So this is where I'm going to use a curved line from the dot that travels all the way to the edge and then curves up. Again, we'll do the same thing. We're going to practice that same type of line. It's going to go straight to the corner and then curve up, and then also to this back corner. It will go back, hit the corner, and curve up. So now I have a cute little building with a curved roof line, and we can add some details now. So they can add some type of detail to the middle top. They can also use their ruler and practice the skill of drawing straight lines by adding a doorway to the front. And of course, you can give them ideas, or they could start just attacking it on their own by adding these other elements. One thing that will be difficult though is adding details on the side, because these still want to go back to the vanishing point. They're going away from us. So how do we do that? We know that the lines that are vertical, we use our ruler to just make vertical lines. Those always go up and down. The things that go to the vanishing point is anything that goes sideways. So if I want to do lines that go back away from me, I will line up a point from here to my vanishing point. And that's how I could do lines on the side of my building, converging to that vanishing point there and creating details on the side. The same on the roof. If I wanted to add some slats, I would go straight across on the front. That doesn't change. But the lines on the side converge to my vanishing point. So how much detail you show the students just depends on their capability and how much time you have in class. You definitely want to get the basics of the building done in 1-point perspective, but how much you just let them go and fill it out on their own versus how much you show them these extra tools is completely up to you. It might be too much over their head and you just want to let them do their own thing, or you might want to help some students learn this skill if you think some of them are capable. Once they've designed their little Japanese building, they can think of what season it is and add the landscape that goes along with that. So maybe a summer scene where it's nice and hot and there's a beautiful river flowing by, or maybe a winter scene where there's snow on the trees and little bunnies hopping around in the snow. Whatever your students feel like adding, if there's time, they can do that. And of course, giving them colored pencils for ones who finish early is always a good way to keep them focused on their artwork.